This week, an eruption of gun violence in Brooklyn and Queens.
She's only 9 years old. Thank God that I'm not planning a funeral. She's gonna live.
Plus, a brazen attack is caught on camera.
He was yelling, and he was so angry.
And disturbing new evidence in the Gilgo Beach serial killer case.
This man is capable of killing by dismembering, by using weapons.
Right now, Fox 5's Crime in the City. Here are the crimes from across the 5 boroughs. We begin this week in Brooklyn, where the mother of a little girl struck by gunfire at a playground is speaking out.
There are many questions and still very few answers about this shootout that happened in this children's park last night. It left 2 girls wounded, this entire community shaken to its core, and many parents and family members here wondering if there's any place safe for their kids to play this summer. The girls' Crocs were still on the track field, along with a trail of their blood as they recovered from a wild shootout in Hilltop Playground just after 9 Monday night. The girls, who are cousins, were the unintended targets of what investigators say may be a gang war. The mother of the 9-year-old and aunt of the 11-year-old is still processing what happened and asked us not to show her face out of fear for her family's safety.
I'm just lost for words. I'm overwhelmed. I haven't slept. I haven't ate. I'm stressed out. I'm just everything what a mother could be, you know, that's hurting, that's grieving right now.
Police say the girls were on the field with a parent watching them from a nearby bench when at least half a dozen bullets were fired by 2 trigger pullers using different caliber guns.
A preliminary investigation reveals that there were possibly 2 shooters that fired at least 6 rounds in the direction the children were playing.
The 9-year-old girl was shot in the knee and the bullet went through and through. She's now home with her mom recovering.
Thank God that I'm not planning a funeral. She's gonna live. I just want my daughter to get better, and I'm just trying to take further steps on how to keep her safe, how to keep her, you know, mentally sane, because she's only 9 years old. She's never dealt with this in life. I've never dealt with this in my life.
The playground is a vital part of the community and one of few places for kids to go. But now many residents are wondering if it's worth the risk.
Kids don't even feel safe walking outside no more. Feel like, oh, like my life is on the line if I go here. It's like kids don't have to, kids are not supposed to worry about that.
I am very concerned, especially since I have little brothers and we so happen to be in the same park. I'm just glad I didn't have them out that late, but honestly, it's terrifying.
When you're with your parents, you should be still feeling safe, but if you can't be safe with your own parents, then where are you going to be safe at, especially in New York City?
Now, the girls are expected to make full recovery. So far, police are telling us there have been no arrests. Now, in terms of the overall crime picture here in this particular precinct and neighborhood, the NYPD's own statistics show that overall crime is down, but shootings are way up by 50% so far this year, and so is the number of shooting victims up by 64% so far this year.
Moving to Queens, a shootout between police and a man on a moped ends with 2 officers in the hospital.
2 NYPD officers are recovering tonight after getting into a shootout with a suspect on a moped.
Yeah, they were trying to stop him for going the wrong way down a one-way street, and now it's been revealed he's a migrant here illegally from Venezuela.
Fox 5's Michelle Ross has the story from East Elmhurst, Queens, where this all unfolded.
2 NYPD officers leave Elmhurst Hospital hours after they were both shot by a suspect early Monday morning. Officer Richard Yaruso pushes his partner, Christopher Abreu, in a wheelchair.
This is a bullet hole. Because of this vest, a young police officer is going home.
The NYPD says the suspect came here illegally from Venezuela. He is identified as 19-year-old Bernardo Raul Castro Mato, and police say he came to the U.S. through the Texas border last July. The NYPD officers he shot at were working to address robbery patterns on mopeds and scooters in Queens. Police say it was near 23rd Avenue when they saw him riding a moped the wrong way on a one-way street, and when they tried to stop him, he ran away.
During the pursuit, the suspect fired multiple rounds at our officers, who then returned fire.
The illegal gun was recovered at the scene. The NYPD says he has no prior arrests in New York City, but is a suspect in several robbery patterns in Queens.
Similar scooters and bikes are being used citywide to commit crimes. These crimes include shootings, robberies, and phone snatches.
Police say he's staying at this hotel around the block being used as a shelter. Parked in front are dozens of scooters. One migrant from Colombia staying here says most of them use the bikes to make a living for their families. He says in Spanish, the majority use the motorcycles to provide and make money. And the NYPD has seen a spike in crimes on mopeds from 0 to 80 robbery patterns. That's from the first half of the year 2022 compared to the first half of this year. And those 80 robbery patterns make up hundreds of incidents. Those 2 police officers are expected to make a full recovery.
Back in Brooklyn, a little boy found dead in a Brownsville apartment, and the suspect just 12 years old.
A 14-year-old boy is found dead inside his family's apartment with an apparent bullet wound to his chest. Fox 5's Kendall Green is in Brownsville, Brooklyn with the details.
Like any other day, the kids are on the basketball court playing outside of the Howard houses. Though Sunday, they're playing through grief that came unexpectedly. Their pickup game is missing one player now, a shy, friendly kid who never made it to the court Sunday afternoon.
My neighbors know the kids play together.
The 14-year-old was at home when just before 10:30 in the morning, he was shot in the chest inside of his apartment.
I heard it. I did hear it.
The child was taken to Brookdale Hospital where doctors couldn't save him. The gunfire came from the 5th floor of this NYPD apartment building, where NYPD now stand guard, just outside of the door where it happened. Neighbors tell Fox 5 it woke them up out of their sleep. And because of the time of day, at first they thought nothing of it.
I just heard a loud sound. I didn't think nothing of it at first. And then a little while later, I heard walkie-talkies and stuff, which I thought was the housing. And then after that, I see the police and everybody came.
One of the teen's mom, who didn't want to go on camera with tears, shared how shattered she was to hear the news that her son's friend won't be coming by anymore. As her neighbor, to a certain degree, feels it too.
I don't really know them well, but they're nice people. Okay. Oh my God, my condolences to their family.
I have a daughter that's around the same age. I couldn't imagine being a parent and losing a child that age.
Now, so far at last check, police say no one has been arrested or charged in connection with the shooting.
Once more in Queens, a brazen attack at a bike shop in Sunnyside is caught on camera.
It was a wild scene here today. It happened about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and the store manager saying that a customer who came in, and a customer, by the way, they have never had a problem with before, today suddenly went berserk over a $30 repair bill. An employee sweeping up shattered glass at Fly e-bike at 42nd Street and Broadway in Sunnyside, Queens, after a customer flew into a rage.
He started fighting with my mechanic.
Store manager Santana Rodriguez says that fight then spilled out onto the sidewalk, where the 34-year-old suspect cracked him in the head with his helmet. The store mechanic then ran out and hit the suspect in the arm with a metal object like this.
He want to kill me. He want to kill the other guy. He said later when he get out of the jail, whatever he doing, he want to come back here and fight it again.
And the violence did not stop there. Surveillance video shows the customer throwing the helmet 2 more times at the store. A woman believed to be his wife trying to get him to stop. Next, he gets his scooter battery and smashes it through the store window as police arrive. The owner of the thrift shop across the street witnessed the chaos.
He was yelling and yelling and yelling, and he was so angry.
She watched as the suspect resisted arrest, wrestling with 2 police officers, rolling around on the sidewalk before breaking free and running down the street. Police chasing and arresting the man. The store manager says all of this started over a $30 scooter repair bill.
It's very, very crazy time.
And once again, that suspect in custody tonight. Charges are pending against him. In the meantime, the 2 police officers were taken to the hospital with minor injuries.
Up in the Bronx, a sunny afternoon at a Pelham Bay golf course takes a violent turn.
It was this past Saturday afternoon on the golf course when things got out of hand. This cell phone video exclusive, shot by someone from our Fox 5 New York news team who was there and witnessed it all.
I just hit him back. I didn't know I was hitting so hard.
That's the voice of this man, one of 2 men involved in an altercation, according to what our news team eyewitness saw. What we can't show you on TV is CPR being performed on the other man. It happened in the Bronx at the Pelham Bay and Split Rock golf courses. The NYPD responded. It's in the 45th precinct. We reached out to police for information. According to a DCPI spokesperson, police responded to a call for an assault inside 870 Shore Road. A 49-year-old male was assaulted and transported by EMS to NYC Health and Hospital's Jacoby in stable condition. Police say a 29-year-old man was charged with assault. We reached out to the golf course and we're waiting to hear back.
A lot of guys don't follow etiquette.
This man says he golfs here once a week. He wasn't here, but isn't surprised, he says, to hear something like this happened.
Not surprised at all. Nope. If I was a real hothead, I could have gotten, in this course alone, I could have gotten in the past 3-4 years, I could have gotten into 3-4 fights.
We don't know what led up to what police are now calling an assault, or even if the two men know each other. But this is the time of year when golf courses are busy and things can clearly take a turn based on what we saw.
Next, we visit Staten Island for a look at the city's crackdown on illegal scooters.
Well, Mayor Adams and the NYPD announcing a new plan to remove illegal mopeds and scooters from the streets.
That's right. In addition to being a danger to pedestrians, they also say thieves are using these vehicles to quickly get away from a crime scene.
And Fox 5's Linda Schmidt takes a closer look at this concerning new trend and what the city is doing about it.
The NYPD announcing another major crackdown. The mayor saying there will now be checkpoints at the bridges, tunnels, and major roadways to confiscate illegal scooters. Hundreds of illegal scooters once again crushed at the Staten Island landfill.
These mopeds and scooters are being used in many times in the commission of crimes.
The most recent high-profile shooting happening Monday involving a migrant on an illegal scooter, opening fire on 2 police officers in East Elmhurst, Queens. Both officers were wounded and returned fire, hitting the 19-year-old from Venezuela in the ankle.
When you compare the first 5 months of this year to the first 5 months of 2022, the number of robbery patterns increased by almost 8 times.
Last night, the NYPD launching its latest crackdown, starting in Corona, Queens.
Within hours, we seized 74 bikes. Numerous arrests, numerous summonses.
Since January, we have seized more than 13,000 legal motorbikes citywide, which is an increase of 140% since last year.
Authorities say they are also being used by food delivery workers.
We will be bringing in all of the delivery companies, our restaurants, our bids, to tell them they have to also police themselves. No one should be delivering from a restaurant on an illegal scooter.
The mayor also targeting stores that sell scooters.
I don't believe you should leave a site of where you purchase a scooter or a 3-wheeler without first that vehicle is registered with insurance.
And finally, leaving the city, investigators tie 2 more grisly murders to suspected serial killer Rex Heuermann.
Suspected Long Island serial killer Rex Heuermann arraigned today in the deaths of 2 more women.
That's right. Prosecutors unveiling disturbing new evidence that they say was recovered from a hard drive in Heuermann's basement. Fox 5's Jessica Formoso joins us live from the Suffolk County Courthouse in Riverhead with the details. Jessica.
Bianca and Steve, we actually have a copy of that document. It was very detailed. He wrote about the problems he could encounter, the supplies he needed, even things that he could do better next time. The DA says he's been doing this for years and knew exactly what he was doing. As for Heuermann himself, well, he says he is innocent. Now, he was in court this morning. Take a look. For the 3rd time, suspected killer Rex Heuermann was arraigned on new murder charges for the killing of 2 other women, Jessica Taylor and Sandra Castilla. He's now being accused of killing 6 sex workers. Jessica Taylor disappeared in 2003. Castilla was killed in 1993. These new charges come after police went back to his home in Massapequa Park to search for more evidence. They were there for days. Investigators were also searching in the woods in Manorville and North Sea. Court documents stated that Taylor, who was a sex worker, was decapitated. Her arms had been severed from her torso. Investigators say Heuermann knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't want his victims to be recognizable. DNA and electronics seized from his home linked him to the killings. Prosecutors say they discovered a planning document on a hard drive they found in his basement. They call it the blueprint of his killings. He laid out plans to kill tell his victims. It said things like body prep to remove head and hands. It also read supplies, listing things he needed from rope to hairnets to photo film. Perhaps, though, the most disturbing thing on the document, things to remember, where he wrote, next time, consider a hit to the face or the neck for takedown.
Task Force believes that this is a planning document, and it was utilized by Uriman to methodically blueprint and plan out his kills with excruciating detail. We allege that this document evinces the defendant's intent in committing the charged crimes.
We now know that one killer can kill in all different ways, as he did, and not just in a pattern as had been previously thought. Instead, this man is capable of killing by dismembering. He's capable of killing by using weapons.
Now, some of the victims' families were here in court. They did speak afterwards, saying that they are just very happy to see that justice is being served, that they've been waiting for this moment for years. Now, as for Uriman, well, he remains behind bars. He is due back in court on July 30th.
And that's this week's Crime in the City. Subscribe for more at youtube.com/Fox5NY.